Hey, you. Welcome to Bonehead.
Me?
James.
I was already here.
Hey, James.
Yeah.
You gotta help me out. Now, what are we doing tonight?
Okay.
Explain it in detail.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Explain it in not your detail.
Where we're going, we don't need roads. No. Okay. So here's actually what we're going to do.
Although, by the way, did you just get out of the shower?
I did. My steamy.
You smell lemonly. Fuck it.
I should smell like Old
What
Spice.
it is this is online, and he's just smelling where he pledged his table. The pledge to this table.
No. So what we're going to do this week, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, gentleman, but sometimes when the show has some success, they want to continue that success after the show, and they do what's called
where we do a Bonehead spinoff.
Yeah, they do a spinoff, and so in honor of that, I thought we should talk about spinoffs, but we shouldn't just talk about spinoffs. We've done stuff like that before. We should actually, and I'll take this role on. We should pitch the worst possible spinoffs ever. So we're going to take existing shows. Maybe they had a really great episode that could have been a spinoff, been spun off into something. Maybe they have an entire character.
So we're only doing TV.
Well, no, we can do films too, and most of mine are centered around TV because I thought about it.
He can't afford film.
If you think about the classic spinoffs, I mean, you don't get the Jeffersons without All in the Family.
Sheriff Lobo.
Yeah, I mean, all the great spinoffs that we have out there. Fish.
I'm dying on this Lobo hill.
Hawk spun off from Spencer for Hire with Avery Brooks.
Yeah,
and that should have gone longer than it did.
Should have. It should actually. Matter of fact, I mean, I don't want to lose him in Cisco, but if it could have ran right up until that Deep Space Nine casting call,
exactly.
I'm going to ask a serious question. I've only ever met one person in my life who was a huge fan of Hawk.
Seriously?
Yes, because you're a shut-in.
You guys are huge fans of Hawk?
Hell yes.
I've never seen an episode. I just don't know. Did I miss something?
I mean, yeah, you missed Hawk, evidently.
Yeah. How many seasons was it on?
Ooh, Spencer for Hire was it?
Well, I'm talking about Hawk.
Hawk, I think it ran one season.
Oh.
I think. Is that right, Chad? You want to check that?
I am going to verify.
The thing is, it's no fish then.
No, but once again, so we know of all these spinoffs that came out, and some of them are really great. I mean, Family Guy gave us the Cleveland Show.
For a second, I was like, Family Guy gave us Maude.
Well, I mean, actually, that's another one that spun off of All in the Family. So,
what
great spinoff of? I mean, Maude is.
Now you're going to tell me the Jeffersons had something to do with it?
Yeah, Maude is a spinoff. By the way, now Perfect Strangers spun off Family Matters, which gave us
A Man Called Hawk lasted 13 episodes.
Yeah, one season basically. Yeah. Anyway, they were 13 great episodes. Okay, they were 12 great episodes in one. All right. Watch it and figure out which one I'm talking about.
Give me the plot of 2.
Hawk, it has to use his
later. Not for the audience.
No. Hawk has to use his enforcement skills to solve crimes. There, I've summed it up, Joe. I
sounds like I almost said the Enforcer. What's it called again? That show you watch with
The
Denzel?
Equalizer?
There you go, that one.
Well, no, now in the modern Equalizer, she solves problems with wit and brute force when needed. Anyway,
Hawk is how you handle staff meetings.
Well, I mean, I don't have staff meetings anymore. I don't have to worry about that stuff.
I'm sorry, faculty meetings. Chad, sorry.
Hawk is hired to protect a deaf university student and his roommate who witnessed a murder.
Uh-oh.
Something along those lines.
Did you hear anything?
While he is tracking down the source of heroin laced with strychnine, Hawk is repeatedly disrupted by a dogged reporter.
See? Think about that, Joe. Think about if you were in your office.
Somebody dressed up as Crab Dog McGruff. It's an actual damn dog.
You're gonna.
I just got one more question for you. Acting like Columbo.
You're gonna notice a trend. Hawk is hired to protect a Haitian historian from someone he believes is trying to use voodoo to learn of a secret.
What?
It's the voodoo that you do so well. But as you can tell, obviously, great spinoffs happen. We're here to talk about spinoffs that probably should never happen. However,
Yes.
if when this episode comes out,
Yes.
there's a huge outcry.
Is he just
And
freezing
people
on
want to
me
reach
or you
out to the
too?
creators, or maybe share this with famous people. And maybe they want to produce it, and maybe they want to bring us on as consultants. Maybe we can do that.
Yeah, we work cheap.
Yeah, and literally now some of this, like I said, we're doing what we think would be terrible spinoffs, but maybe you hear it and think, no, that's not terrible. That's great. Well, all you have to do, bring us into consult, pay us a little bit of money, let us wander around the set and touch things for a couple days. That's all we need, folks.
Sugar-free Kool-Aid and Diet Coke.
Yeah. I mean, and brown M&Ms. I mean, if I see a green one, I'll burn the set down. But
we'll burn the whole damn thing, and it better come in a brandy glass.
Yeah, it better be,
Literally, if these sons of bitches aren't reading my riders, I'm burning it down.
If my Diet Coke is more than 62 degrees, but colder than 32, because it's freezing. I don't want it frozen. I can't drink it frozen. Anyway, I will. It's over.
It's the one thing Trump and I have in common. Well, he had the Diet Coke button. I just want one.
Yeah. Don't you have one? Aren't you married? Hi-oh. I just got canceled. I'm terrible. That was terrible. And also, I know it's not true because your wife will hit you.
No, I have a dishwasher joke. I'll tell you later.
I think we're all canceled now. That's all terrible. That's not true. We respect our wives. I mean, not each other's wives.
No, we respect each other's wives.
Yeah.
What we're saying is it's really swapping.
Yeah. Or it's a Coraline issue where we have other wives that are in another dimension that have button eyes.
Yeah.
They'd have to have button eyes to want to be with us. Hi-oh.
Oh. All right.
Anyway. So, do you all want me to pitch my first spinoff?
I want you to pitch so many tents.
So, gentlemen, I know what you're thinking.
Is he talking to us, Chad?
Hey, yous guys.
It's a gentleman.
Hey, yous guys.
Hold on. Let me pick my nose a little bit.
For you folks
that's going to bleed, Chad.
For you
that's
folks listening, he literally went knuckle deep, and when I do this, that's not me farting, it's the chair.
Yeah,
sure it is.
Sure, whatever.
I assure you,
for those of you that are listening, the chair's not moving. Anyway.
Well, that's because it's broken down from the weight.
Anyway.
That's just physics.
We know that probably one of the most celebrated shows, and eventually we'll do an episode about it, but one of the most celebrated shows of the past, 10, 12 years has been Breaking Bad.
Never heard of it.
And if you've not heard of Breaking Bad, science teacher ends up cooking meth. And it got a spinoff, Better Call Saul, which is actually a prequel.
Yeah, it's a prequel.
But I have the pitch that we need.
And a sequel movie. I finally watched El Camino the other day.
El Camino. So obviously they're willing to look at doing follow-ups.
Yeah.
Now I have what could be the most hard-hitting follow-up to Breaking Bad ever.
Oh.
That could actually impact radical change, make people look at the system as we understand it, and really, really, really take this apart. So let me pitch this as I would. I've put on my shades. I'm ready to go. As I would in an actual pitch meeting. Here we go. So Breaking Bad season 2 has one of the most compelling episodes where you actually get to see Jesse's character come to life and really see what he's all about. And I'm referring to, of course, the episode Peekaboo. Now in Peekaboo,
I see you.
Jesse befriends a little boy that's being raised by meth heads.
Yeah.
And throughout the episode, he's almost nonverbal. He's not been educated. His parents are meth heads, and he has all these issues, but he teaches him how to play peekaboo. And spoiler, but at one point, his mother, who is the gentleman's name is Spooge, and his woman, they get in a fight. He's trying to break into an ATM. Sure enough, she makes the ATM falls, crushes Spooge's head. And Jesse realizes this is completely out of control, grabs the kid, tells him to play peekaboo and keep his eyes closed, goes outside, calls the cops, leaves the kid, tells him to skip there.
So far, this is a laugh riot.
Oh, this isn't meant to be funny. I literally think this would be the pitch that could actually do. So here's what happens.
This is a very special Breaking Bad.
We know that he leaves him, and Jesse leaves him, calls the cop. Obviously, Jesse can't be there because he doesn't want to be caught because, Yeah, meth. That being said, we never find out what happened to Spooge's son. Here's my pitch. The show is called
Spooge.
Spooge. Spooge is the guy's name.
No, I know. Son of Spooge.
Spooge.
No, it's not. No. The show is called Making Sad. And what this show is about, so Spooge is found by the police. He's put into child services. He's bounced around from foster home to foster home, and we follow him as he goes through this terrible situation where the courts don't know what to do with him. He's obviously learning delayed. There's all this stuff going on, and it highlights the challenges of our foster care system and all of this stuff.
Hold on real quick. Can we please call it Son of Spooge? We can literally, with the letters that come out like Breaking Bad, it'll be Son of Spooge, only it's SOS. Someone's got to save Son of Spooge.
Well, the reason I thought Making Sad is we can have a little wordplay here. The courts will name him something like,
I just want you to admit,
Alan Davidson.
I just want you to admit that when you were putting this together, not once did Son of Spooge come in your head, and me and Joe got it right off the bat. Just admit that.
No, it's actually he's referred to as Son of Spooge in the script.
I can't read that shit.
Okay.
And why did you keep putting your finger on it?
So anyway, so it's almost it's a Dickensian tale. It's a Dickensian tale
Spooge
in the land of meth. So it's, he's an orphan. There's all this stuff going on. He's a product of the system, but what are they going to do with him? He gets bounced around from school to school, home to home. So all you have to do is pay one cast member consistently. It's going to be a cheaper show to make because you get some kid to play Spooge, or Son of Spooge. That's not an issue. And then literally somebody asked for more.
Spooge anywhere, Chad.
Somebody asked for more money. Guess
it's like you could just make it yourself.
All of a sudden, the courts have to just remove them from, restrict them from seeing Son of Spooge. And there you go. So Making Sad be a great show to examine the challenges of our child care system, the state court system, all of that stuff. If you've ever seen anybody go through foster care systems, adoption systems, this is literally a show that could actually have some social impact, but also spin off from Breaking Bad as we follow the Son of Spooge.
All right, Chad asked you a really good question earlier. Now, far be it from me to give props to Chad, but now where's the humor?
It's not meant to be. Breaking Bad's not funny.
Breaking Bad is hilarious sometimes.
Sometimes, well, it's going to be funny sometimes. Maybe sometimes, the Son of Spooge gets adopted by a sex ring. I don't know. It could be hilarious. Work on it. The point being, it's Little Orphan Annie for the Breaking Bad.
This right here is a sex square.
I'm just saying this is Little Orphan Annie for the Breaking
Little
Bad
Orphan
set.
Annie for the sex ring crowd.
This is my pitch.
Huh.
If Making Sad gets picked up, y'all are going to be sorry for picking on me. And I'm going to sit there and be like, they didn't understand my vision.
You know what? Yeah, the whole gestalt. You know why we'll be sad?
Because I'm not going to do any interviews on this show.
Well, that'll be one. The second one is
I ain't doing that show.
It's not about you. It's really about the money.
Well, yeah.
So if you get paid, that's what will make us sad. And it was like, they used to talk to me, and you blow your nose in a wad of hundreds.
Yeah. I used to have the warmth of human companionship.
James Thomas leans down with $1,000 bill doing rails of coke. I just don't know why they don't talk to me anymore.
They didn't believe in my Making Sad.
Because I'm not doing the shit show either. Weren't you on that show? Fuck you.
I didn't want to be. I wanted to pitch Making Sad earlier, but they held me back. I could have been somebody.
I could only do cocaine to be able to speak my truth.
Seriously, Making Sad. Doesn't have to be funny. It is not. I was going to do an honest spinoff. That would be a terrible spinoff, but it could be a commentary on several systems out there. You're right, Chad. It's not funny, but it would be a terrible spinoff. When you watch week after week as this poor kid goes through the system.
No, it'd be very depressing. I'm trying to figure out
that's why it's called Making Sad.
Hope after hope that the next week takes him to his forever home.
Oh, and then you'll have episodes where if we can get the actress that played his mother to come back and try to sue for custody. Oh, the delights. That'll be sweet week.
How far have you made it through Breaking Bad?
I'm 2 episodes till the end.
So you know what happens to Kristen Ritter.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
can she be a ghost who talks
that'd
to
be
Spooge?
great. Yeah, like tries to give him advice.
Yeah. Only
Except
it's real
really
shitty advice.
It's hard to for her to give advice because every time she tries to speak to him, though, that vomit comes out of her mouth.
What? It's just she looks like Rick and Morty where he's always
yeah. Every time
Kristen Ritter's ghost.
She has to cough something up.
Kristen Ritter's ghost tries to give him bad advice. All right, I'm on board with that.
It's Shakespearean, right? It's
really?
almost it's Little Orphan Annie meets Breaking Bad meets King Lear, right?
Well,
There's
that
Ghost
classes
advising
the
him.
thing up.
Yeah. I mean, I was going deep on this one. I think this is one where we could do a lot of social commentary, but also bring in some classical mythology tones, maybe a bit of Orwellian considerations of how the state watches yet doesn't help this child.
You had me at Kristen Ritter's vomiting ghost.
Really wish they would have renewed Jessica Jones for another. Then I won't have to do that. Season 2 could have happened.
Since I don't have anything near that good, I only have a shitty Dallas runoff blah 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 joke. I was going to call it Fort Worth. Chad, what do you got?
Oh, it's okay. I'll just go for my top one here. So, Mortal Kombat just came out today. As we're recording this, I am going to watch it as soon as we're done with this episode. But I was thinking about this one, and we have never gotten the story from the perspective of the event coordinator.
Oh my goodness. Can it also be played by Kristen Ritter?
Sure. Like Kristen Ritter.
She's the event coordinator.
Oh my God.
Planner,
that would
event
be great.
planner.
It would actually, you could work vomiting into that one too, because she shows up going, "Oh, we have to reset this before the day." Is that a human heart?
Didn't J-Lo do one of those, like the wedding planner or something? Isn't there several of those? It's kind of the same thing. Is that where you're going with this?
Kind of, and then she'll go to James, the villain's name, Shang Tsung. I don't think we've got enough mortals here.
Can you really call this Mortal Kombat?
Can you
that guy had 6 arms. He's not a normal mortal.
The mortal to immortal ratio is way off here, man. What do you want me to do?
It's like when one of the parties is off and they start inviting people for the other side. Yeah.
Johnny Cage is asking for more Don Perignon in his room, and we're just out. This is an island. You have to get here through a special boat. We don't have access to that stuff.
Well, Chad, you lead me to an idea. If you get to talk about that and you get to talk about who's actually doing the event coordinating and the event planning, I want to know about the actual business procedures in Godzilla versus Kong that caused them to have $1 billion to build that damned underground tunnel between Florida and China.
You realize you already went over this on another episode, right?
I know. I'm going back to it though.
Oh, good. It's
I'm just saying if we're talking about just train of thought, consciousness, or whatever it's called, I want to know that too. I don't know if about the building of it would be all that interesting, but it would be to me.
Chad, are you still complaining about that when we're not around?
It does drive me crazy.
He screamed that it's almost like The Great Gatsby, where Gatsby's down on the pier and he's looking across at the light across the bay, except it's Joe just standing in his backyard looking at his neighbor's window screaming Godzilla. It really weirds the neighbor out, but he's kind of too concerned to call anybody.
I haven't done that in nights.
Best of times my ass.
Chad, with that idea, one of the things, because you bring up a lot of different things with that, honestly, the rotation, right? I mean, there's some big personalities in Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like when you have 2 performers and they can't see each other. I mean, I think that the coordinator is interesting, but I've got to imagine that's a whole staff, right?
Well, yeah.
You would think.
They've got to cater it.
And then every time there's a fight, if you think about it, I played the original Mortal Kombat. The stage always looks the same. The skulls at the bottom of the pit of spikes are always in the same place. Well, now if you kick somebody down there and they land on that, somebody's got to go reset those skulls
Yeah.
because
And
it's
then
got
there
to
has
look
to-
the same for the next fight.
And then, there has to be a janitor to sweep up the ashes when Scorpion blows people to smithereens, or when somebody gets their head ripped off their neck. I mean, there has to be one person who's responsible for all
Actually,
that.
now that you brought it up, Chad, I'm more interested in the Custodian movie. Like, I don't know.
Is it like Sunshine Cleaning?
Somebody get Carl
has
and
to
the
be.
Sawdust in here. There's blood and acid everywhere again. Carl, watch it. Don't slip on the ice from Sub-Zero.
Oh,
Well, I
Kano
mean-
shit himself again.
Well, hey, there have to be potties. There have to be porta potties, right?
Oh,
These
yeah.
places usually take place in tunnels and shit and ice and whatnot. Not really. It's not like they're actually having it at an arena.
Well, we're assuming that Goro has a butthole.
By the
Assuming
way, you bring up an interesting point, Chad. Which one of
about his butthole.
Which one of his 6 arms do you think he wipes with?
I thought you were going to ask. I
Sorry.
thought he was going to ask masturbate. I really thought it. I thought he was going to say wax with.
Well, he could
That's
do
just
both
sick.
technically at the same time.
Holy cow, he really could. Of course, I guess we could too, but I'm not that talented. I don't think.
Now
I
you
don't
get
have 6
distracted.
arms.
All of a sudden, the next thing you know,
And
he's
he
Next
could
thing you know, you're having to take a shower.
He could be
You got
doing
a
both
fire
and eating a
going.
Twinkie at the same time.
What?
I know nobody's ever thought of this before.
Because it took you, and that should say something.
To quote the poets who wrote Ghostbusters, that's a big Twinkie.
Geniuses. Shakespeare. Me. That guy who Nipsey
If you-
Russell. That's who I was thinking.
If you say the ShamWow guy, I'm going to punch you square in the throat. But also, it might be accurate. I don't know anymore.
I was trying to come up with Nipsey Russell and it just blanked for anyway. Go
So
ahead.
we've got catering, cleanup, the actual event. Who is actually going to make sure that they've got all those places reserved, right?
Oh yeah, because you don't want
The
you
caterer.
don't want
I said catering.
Oh, I'm
Yep.
sorry, I didn't hear you.
you
I said
don't
it like
want
3 times. I don't. What the hell does somebody with no butthole and 6 arms eat?
you don't want Raiden to show up being, hey, I'm supposed to fight a guy, and all of a sudden they'll be like, listen,
What does Christopher Lambert eat, James?
there's whatever he wants. He's Christopher Lambert. You
He
let
doesn't know.
Christopher
He's
Lambert-
blind.
You let
Well, I was
Christopher
just going
Lambert-
to say snails. He's French, right?
Well, actually, he's French American. I believe his family was from America, but they were in France, and he came back to America when he was older. I think I could be wrong about that, but he was in Long Neck, New York, right? Is where he's went. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
This
lost
just brings
me,
up,
bud.
and this brings up another interesting point.
What?
What about the caterer?
I literally though. I mean, the sheer.
4
I mean, can you
times.
imagine Raiden, Lord of Lightning, is there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm ready to do this fight," and it's like, "No, sorry, we double booked."
No.
Double
I
booked
refu-
the
he goes to the-
Moskowitz bar mitzvahs today, so you're gonna have to wait a little while. We'll see if they'll let you be in the background, but just shh. Very, very, very serious occasion.
No, better yet, Raiden refuses to fight because his opponent is wearing rubber boots.
Oh, electricity. I was just thinking about it. You go ahead and finish like I am, and then watch it back. What do you think?
Now,
You go
Who's
ahead.
that guy
you
in
go
the
ahead.
back?
You
Who's
go
that guy in the
Puzzles.
back with the weird
Puzzle
hat
Puff.
and all that stuff? Oh,
Yeah.
that's my uncle. No, not him. The one that has electricity pulsing through him. For a second, I thought you were doing na.
Who does the music? Because if you were going to do that, you would want some music. You would want some entry music, right?
Oh yeah. Well, and you have what's going. You have the incidental sounds in the background, right? Like the crackling
Right.
fire and all that stuff. You got to have somebody there to be the grip to hold that microphone and pick them up.
Right.
And just so we can go to what's the villain's name again? Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung.
Flawless victory.
Yeah.
It sounds a lot like your Dr. Claw.
You got it.
Yeah, it sounds similar. Hmm.
No, so I'd probably watch that show. Like if it was a
Thank
sitcom,
you.
if it was like a lower decks type show that was on Netflix, I'd tune into a couple Mortal Kombat catering episodes. Oh, could it be kind of like Designing Women? I've got to go out and take care of this Goro fellow. Is Andy Potts available?
Yeah, we can see. I mean,
that would be
Ghostbusters Afterlife and Toy Story 4 money maybe dried up. Maybe we can get her cheap.
Designing Kombat.
Hold on. Mortal designing. No, just too many syllables.
I'm sorry.
What's the
trying to
next
get
one?
a theme song.
If Delta
for it.
Burke wants to do it, she'll do it.
Delta Burke. Toot, 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 toot. That works.
Test your might. Do. Design this set.
You think we could get her to get Gerald McRaney to make a cameo?
Oh my God. Can we get him to play Goro's father? Like just have 4 more arms like stapled to him. Be like, now, son, I thought you were going to go into the military. What a disappointment you are. I'm going to go burn Deadwood down.
Oh, stream of consciousness. James, what do you got next?
Well, gentlemen,
Once again, is he talking to us?
We can look at these classic shows that took place at diners and bars. Cheers, right?
Yeah.
The
They
famous
have one.
show.
It's called Frasier.
Yeah, famous show at a bar. Actually, it had a spin-off with Rhea Perlman for a while too, right?
I did not know that. No.
I'm pretty sure it did. If Chad
I'm
wants to
pretty sure I
double-check me.
was not aware of it.
It did. It was on while Cheers was on, and then it got canceled, and obviously she stayed on Cheers. But I'm pretty sure they did have a
I'll
spin-off.
have to look that
Rhea
up.
Perlman.
Chad, do you know what he's talking about?
I'm looking it up.
But anyway, but you have Cheers. You had when All in the Family ended, it became Archie Bunker's place because he bought the local bar he went to. There is something about bars and drinking establishments that people love to see in sitcoms. But at the same time, we know full and well that cop procedural shows are huge. There's how many versions of Law and Order, NCIS, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead, Chad.
The only 2 spinoffs from Cheers was Frasier and the Tortellis.
Yep, which is a Rhea Perlman show.
Oh, yeah.
Her character's name was what was it? Something Tortelli.
But it didn't star Rhea Perlman.
Oh,
And Starry What's her face that played her husband.
Dan Hedaya.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, it was
there you
Dan Hedaya.
Okay, well, there you go. Anyway, I say all of that to say, obviously, so bars, restaurants, those are huge shows for sitcoms, but we also know that police procedurals are big, but also so is nostalgia. So here's my pitch. Who is one of the most famous club/bar owners in police procedural history? I refer to, of course, Huggy Bear. Huggy Bear. So it's a show called Huggy Bears, and it's all about Huggy Bear, who was an informant on Starsky and Hutch, but he owned this club, which is where they go
Bouncing here
to
and
get
there and
information.
everywhere.
And so, if you like jive talking, if you like police informants, and if you like shows set at bars, let me sell you on the adventures of Honey Bear. It's all set at his club. It's
You
also
say Honey Bear or Huggy Bear?
Huggy Bear. I'm sorry.
Huggy Bear.
Huggy Bear.
Honey Bear is what you call me.
So the show will be called Last Call at Huggy Bears. And it's basically Cheers meets a police procedural. He's just hanging out. Police come in for information. He's got his underworld friends. And it's all about them just hanging out, coming to get this place, coming to Huggy Bear's place, which was originally called Huggy Bear's, but in later seasons became known as the Pit. I don't know why, but I don't want to call it the Pit. I want to call it Last Call at Huggy Bear's. I think we can blend together the gestalt. We need a Frasier type character, but we already have Huggy Bear, so I think we're good there. I think we're good with our bartender, our owner, but we need a good bartender. But I think we can make this show work. We'll have the police procedure angle. We'll have the sitcom at a bar angle. I think Last Call at Huggy Bears could get at least 3 seasons.
So it's not going to leave the bar.
No, it's all in the bar. So I mean,
they all come in and talk about like the first acts. They come in and start the horse shit and the bullshit. And it's like, you wouldn't believe Tony Three Thumbs lost 4 of his teeth and then 2 of his eyes and then his whole damn head.
And then I want outside though. I mean, you can have the window that shows the outside. There could be police running by shooting and all this stuff. It'll be great. You'll never have to film anything other than just showing outside. And the more it's not acknowledged, the funnier it is. Like I want an episode where somebody's, thrown up against the window of the bar and Huggy's serving drinks and then their head's blown clean off and there's blood all over the mirror.
This
and Huggy
sounds
doesn't
like
even
Police
acknowledge
Squad.
it. Yeah. I think we can do the same thing, except with that bar motif. The people love the bar and restaurant motifs in their sitcoms. I mean, who does the voice of Mo? Maybe they can be the bartender.
Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria.
Oh, so there you go. Hank Azaria can be Mo. Can be the character. We'll have him be live action, obviously, but we'll have Huggy Bear, and it'll be so meta.
And in the second act, the bad guys come in and drop some information that is somehow Huggy Bear gets to the good guys, and then in the third act, we hear about how they took him down and shot him in the head.
Yeah, and,
but we never see any action. It always takes place off screen. And for are we thinking like a 22, 24 minute?
You don't want to run this too long, but the premise will be that Huggy Bear knows all this information, of course.
Yeah,
but it'll all be played for laughs,
right?
It'll just be who's still in the lawn chairs at the swimming pool or something. But then it ends up being people getting killed. I mean, it'll be just hilarious.
All right, I will sign on if you'll give me one. I've got one request, just because I
say that we can't have him talking jive. No deal. No.
Jive Talking not only is one of the best songs of all time, it won the Academy Award for Best Documentary.
I would say same year that Highlander won for pretty much best movie of all time.
Pretty much best movie of all time. No, you have to, every time an episode starts, begin with the punchline of the joke, a different joke, and we never hear the rest of the joke.
Oh, I think that makes sense. Yeah.
Like, I did this many years ago. But ducks don't take baths, and everybody laughs.
Yeah.
What's the rest of the joke? There isn't one. And we do it for everyone. That computer can't wear tennis shoes? I don't know. Something like that.
No. I don't know, but that pickle sure was cold. I mean, it doesn't matter.
I like that one. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. I don't know, but this one.
When I left it here, it was a cucumber.
But again, I think that works because I think you'll have your smart aleck bartender, which is a classic trope.
And Huggy Bear every episode, Huggy's place is filmed in front of a live studio audience. We got that, and it comes in, see outside the Huggy Bears or whatever. He come in and he goes, I don't know, but that cucumber sure was cold. And then walk the detectives. We sure did see that guy get run over by a car or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and you need to have, you've got to have some other classic tropes, that kind of whore with a heart of gold character. You need that in there.
That's going to be played by Chad Jennings.
Yeah, well, I mean, is that too on the nose?
$5 make you holler.
Nope.
Largely
not too much on the nose at all.
I talk like this.
Largely
he's been method acting for years.
Largely for the pain, for the treatment that I'll take after I pay you $5.
That's not a bad one opening either. Largely, I do it for the pain. Just ridiculous.
I shoot the heroin between my toes.
I'm just saying. Last Call at Huggy Bears. I 3 seasons. We can make that work.
Last Call at Huggy Bears been filmed in front of. It's been a Famways presentation.
Huggy Bear, please put down that knife.
Meth only took my front teeth.
I don't know, but meth only took my front teeth. In front of a live studio audience.
And then she said it wasn't even my child.
Ooh.
That's too close to home, bud.
Sorry.
Let's not start that shit on this show. Or some things just aren't funny anymore. Shut up.
Oh, you think we can get Jerry Springer to do a couple cameos on Last Call at Huggy?
Sure.
Huggy Bears? Oh, that'd be great. He can play a judge that comes in there to relax.
Oh, he could. And he's got to be a crooked judge.
I don't know. Actually, we could cast him way against type, and he's a saint.
Well, let me change the word from crooked to a lot of gray area.
Oh yeah. He can. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then if after the second season it looks like ratings are going to go down, I think Huggy Bear needs that robot from Rocky.
But the ratings are going to go down quicker than Jenna Jameson.
You think she'll do the show? She can
Not
play.
After I've made that comment.
She can play like the prosecuting attorney, kind of the Marky Post role.
Yeah.
They all come from court. They know nobody will bother them at Huggy Bear's. They all come down to Huggy Bear's after the court's over and drink.
You think we can get
I
her to
think
do it
again-
without spouting all of her Trump bullshit? Google it.
I mean, that may work. I don't know why she'd hang out at Huggy Bear's though. That may get a little bit complicated.
It may get complicated.
For those that don't know, Huggy Bear was an African American male, and as a business owner, that may cause some complications.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm just saying, tolerance, and I haven't seen her quotes. I shouldn't say until I've read her quotes. But
Well, she's just little far to the right political, which is kind of funny considering her history.
what history would that be, Joe?
She was in Private Parts with Howard Stern.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's pretty liberal.
And she was in that one movie, Strippers versus Zombies. Right? Isn't she in that? Isn't she the head stripper?
Is Robert Englund in that?
Head stripper. That's a movie.
Oh my God, that needs to
There's
be like
about
a
half a dozen ways you could go with the title head
I've already
stripper.
got head stripper. Now that we're doing the pitch head stripper, they have to go to Stripper Island, which is exactly what you think it is. But there's only one stripper allowed to leave. It's the Mortal Kombat of strippers. Who can handle the pole the longest with the friction? Who can do stuff like that? I think head strippers would work.
Are you saying that Jenna Jameson has the pole position?
Now you're being sexist. I think it should be male and female strippers.
Oh, that's good. I like that. I like that.
I think
because
we need to be fair. We
That's
need to be
true.
fair. We are a show
To
about
be fair.
We believe it in
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair,
We are a show about equality. I believe it needs to be both genders, all genders.
I
of strippers,
personally,
should say.
because
There you go.
I was originally thinking
Head
if
stripper.
we're going head stripper could be a spinoff of Reanimator.
That's
David
another
Gale.
way you could go. We'll have to
Or-
dig his
or-
ass up.
Or the brain that wouldn't die.
Yeah.
She's in the pan.
Poor Dr. Hild. He didn't have much of a job after that, that movie.
Nope.
So
I didn't think he's in the
there you
sequel.
go.
Head
There you go,
stripper.
Joe. That was a great pitch. Head stripper. Do.
You're welcome. Once
All
every
right.
5 episodes, I throw something out. All right, Chad, you say you got something else?
Yeah, I've got one. So, and this has been something that I have complained about on a previous episode. So this is one character
Jesus,
who
here we
we
go with
never,
fucking
I
herpes
really,
again.
what?
Nothing.
Did you say we need to have a spinoff to the Kentucky Derby?
I
What
didn't
would
say
that even
anything.
mean,
I
Joe?
didn't say a word about Chad's herpes. Go, Chad. Which one of you is it again?
This is one character who I see in this movie, and it never ever gets explained why it is the way that it is. And it is the sewer dwelling member of the Lollipop Guild from Wizard of Oz.
Actually, that's a good idea. But also, Chad, you bring up something that always bothers me. Why does everybody remember the Lollipop Guild, but nobody remembers the Lullaby League? They're just as important. They happen to be women. Why are they not included? That's sexist and it's wrong. Screw you.
But they
people who
don't
probably-
have anybody come out of the sewer holding a giant lollipop. Why is that poor man in the sewer? Why is he segregated from the rest of the Lollipop Guild?
Well, they let him up, Chad, to sing the song.
To sing
he
the
was
song, and then he
segregated.
immediately goes back down.
How
maybe
do you
he's
know
a
it's
Morlock.
segregation? Maybe he prefers it.
And how
Maybe
much
in
fecal
Oz-
matter has
Maybe in
attached
Oz,
itself?
it
I'll tell you,
runs
it'll
the
matter a
top
lot.
Maybe in Oz,
Couldn't
the
pass it
sewer
up.
is prime real estate. Maybe it runs with soda.
Maybe their
and
sewers aren't down there. Maybe we just call it the hole in the ground where we live. Maybe it's like a Munchkin hobbit hole.
Yeah.
But he's
Oh
the
my
only
God!
one
Now
that
I
comes
want
out
a
of the
movie where the
hole.
Munchkins and the
Well,
Hobbits.
he owns
fight.
the whole damn town, and he carries that damn lollipop around to hit people over the head when they say, "May we borrow some sugar?"
He's the El Kabong of the Munchkins.
El,
Come on.
Come on.
I
By the
get
way,
it.
El Kabong for you kids. That
Please
don't
explain
know.
that to our
Yeah,
audience.
please
then.
explain that.
How can
that-
people not know El Kabong was a horse that hit people with a guitar. I don't know why people don't know that. That's a classic trope.
I love
I'm
the
trying to
fact that you
remember-
said guitar with your
Guitar.
PhD. He is a horse that hit these
Hit people.
fellers with a guitar.
He done hit them with a get
He
fiddle.
done it with and hit him. I reckon he did
He looks like Quick Draw McGraw,
because fecal matters.
but Quick Draw McGraw becomes El Kabong and hits people with a get fiddle, and that makes him El Kabong.
I've got it. I've got it. Why are you so worried? Back to the Munchkins.
Yeah.
I have
It
a bunch
bothers
of
me
questions.
to no. It bothers me to no end when I see that whole scene, and then there's this one guy who comes out of the sewer, and it has to be the guy who is holding the lollipop, and if I'm not mistaken, is the one that actually hands his lollipop to Dorothy.
First of all, I
Well,
don't
he don't
remember
want
him
it no
coming
more.
out of the sewer. I need to go back and rewatch it, which
Yeah.
is funny because Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite movies, and Chad, you don't even particularly care for it.
No, I do not.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, I get it's technically phenomenal, but
It
I'm
is.
just-
It is.
It's technically
still
phenomenal, but
it's fascinating. 80 years later, it just pops on the screen still. But back to what I was about to say. Okay, I get that. The other part I have is about the Wicked Witch, and I don't want anybody messaging us who's actually read Wicked, because that came way after and made up their own shit and their own stories about all this stuff. What was she doing to the Munchkins?
By the way, actually, flip side of that,
Why is
I
she
have-
evil? Why did they? Why? And
I have a,
who
actually, I
gets
have
a house dropped on them accidentally, and everyone loves that person?
Well, supposedly she wasn't the one terrorizing them. It was the other Wicked Witch who the house fell on.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
She had nothing there. She was doing nothing to them.
I've got
She
a
just-
question as well.
Yeah.
Y'all have actually brought up something that bothers me. Okay, so the Wicked Witch shows up. You killed my sister. Blah blah blah. Then Glinda the Good shows up
Yeah.
and says, "Oh, you have no power here. Why? Who draws the jurisdiction? Is there somebody's job to be like, okay, your magic stops here, and if you try to use it, it just won't work? And why don't they just have that person draw a circle around her and be like, now she's powerless?"
Once again, somebody's read Wicked and all those books and could probably answer all these questions. But my point, and that's Gregory. Gregory McGuire. I get it. It's all written his ideas later.
Yeah, he's filling in the holes. He's creating a new story. I actually
Yeah.
admire what he does.
And he's very. I'm admiring. Yeah, I've never read them, but it's successful. And Wicked not only did that, you know, it has a Broadway musical. But so, Chad, you still bothered by the lollipop out of the sewer?
I personally would like to see a movie where it turns out he's actually a chud.
Oh my god!
Now, for you folks out there, CHUDS is an acronym for
Cannibalistic
humanoid
Underdweller.
underground dweller. Yeah, CHUD.
As opposed to Chad, which is actually is also what it stands for: cannibalistic humanoid Anglo dweller. He dwells in England. Most people don't know that. Look it up.
Yeah, Chad. Yeah, he zooms in every week from Liverpool.
But don't tell anybody in England. He's not supposed to be there. He doesn't have a visa or passport or something. I don't know whatever those people have.
All right, what else we got? James, you got another one?
I've got one more, and it's because, and Chad, I think once again, Chad, I'm afraid we're gonna do this animated, but I'm afraid I'm gonna need you in the voice cast for this, because let me pitch this. Okay, what's a popular trend right now? Wizardry and witches and all of that stuff, right?
Well, because of Satanism.
Oh yeah, it's big. I mean, Satan is huge right
And
now.
if they
He's
get their
big.
asses to church, you wouldn't have that problem. But keep going.
But
Damn, Lil Nas X is ruining our country.
No,
here's the pitch that I have. Imagine, so there's witches that live among us. They've been hiding out and stuff. They have powers, but they try not to use them. They don't want to be exposed to the humans, all of that stuff. But then something happens. Some Marvel Comics level event that means, oh, the world of magic is thrown into turmoil. And you need somebody to bring this to order, right? And so what are you going to do? You're going to set up a court
what
system.
are you going to do?
You're going to set up a court system to where people have to, if you're breaking the policy, you're exposing the human, you're going to go on trial. That's right. I'm mixing the element of night court with, of course, the only person who could be a judge in this type of environment. I'm talking, we're spinning off Bewitched. Welcome to Arthur's court. Uncle Arthur is going to put people on trial for breaking the rules of witchcraft. And that's why I need
Do it, Chad. Do the voice.
Animated. We need Paul Lynn's voice animated to solve these
boys.
$500 fine, boys.
So,
Rosebud.
So we got Uncle Arthur from Bewitched, and we mix it with Night Court. You populate that cast with whoever you want, but if we can somehow work King into the title and make it King Arthur's Court, even better. But that being said, it's Uncle Arthur as a judge solving the witchcraft trial problems, because they don't want another Salem witchcraft trial. They know how that goes. So it's up to Uncle Arthur to solve this.
I like the idea, but once again, I have a condition. If for some of you all that don't know, Paul Lynn
Joe's
was
going to talk about his herpes now.
Well, no,
that's
yours
condition.
earlier. I don't share my only with
How do you think I got the damn herpes?
Only with special folks. So back to the herpes. Paul Lynn was a mean ass drunk,
Yes.
an alcoholic, and could be very cruel. Can we have a little bit of that with Uncle Arthur?
Oh, so you want to make it a little house type flavor in there?
A little, yeah.
But he also has this other
instead
side
of like
he's having to keep in control.
what was the pills that he was popping? House was popping. It wasn't Oxy. It's the
Percocet.
Percocets. So instead of like, well, this is the 3 or 4 Percocet scene, which is actually how they kind of directed you in the first year of what I heard. This would be more like this is a 4th and 5th vodka.
Yeah. And so maybe that adds to the story. Yeah, like the behind the scenes, we play it as a comedy, but he's dealing with some stuff. Like he's trying to stay clean. He wants to be a good judge, but of course there's pressures, right? Because he can't let the Salem witch trials happen. He doesn't want witches killed. But he's got to keep them on the straight and narrow.
Uncle King Arthur's Court.
Oh, well, I said Arthur's Court, but I mean, if we could somehow work King into it, because that way it works as a double, So maybe he becomes king of the witches, but then he also has to run the court. Maybe that's what we can do.
King Arthur's Court is now in session.
And so, I mean, again, we would need, of course, the entire cast. We would have to have a prosecutor, a defense attorney. We'd have to have bailiffs.
Let's blow this up.
I don't even know if I can do it.
I rule in favor of the plaintiff, boys.
I've lost it.
You had to
have a couple drinks.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking. Because is this your last one, James?
I've got one. I've got a short one, but go ahead.
Chad, do you have another one?
I've got a few, I think.
Okay. Well, I want to blow this up a little bit because I know I don't have a lot of good ideas about this, and I apologize. But I thought James was going to give us a bunch of them. We're going to riff on those. And this is what I'd like to riff on this one. Let's not just stop at Uncle Arthur for this show. Let's bring in several other famous comedians or at least character people who would normally only do about 3 or 4 episodes per season on another show at the same time, late 60s, early 70s.
Oh, yeah.
So who else do you think would be good with that?
Oh man.
So we're doing Night Court.
Yeah.
You guys remember Sanford and Son?
Yeah.
Do you remember Bubba?
Yeah.
Bubba wasn't always there. So we either have Bubba or Grady also be on the show, and they're playing the Mac character.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do Grady. Shady Grady, if you're a Sanford and Son fan.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's so many of them. I mean, literally, you could go, because he did cameos on a bunch of shows, often making no sense, but I love them all. You can do Vincent Price, right? Vincent Price popped up on the Brady Bunch for no real reason. He was just in Hawaii.
I mean, he is Egghead.
Yeah. I mean, so you could do a ton of those.
We have to have Frank Gorshin on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Well, of course.
Yeah. Who will Frank Gorshin play? He could play the Dan Fielding character, and he's always trying to hit on women and men.
Yeah.
We got to update it a little bit, Chad. What do you think?
Yeah.
No, I'm on board so far.
He's on board with women and men. You heard it here first.
Which is, once again, I support Chad's decision.
Absolutely. Support him.
I think you can have all sorts of. I think you have all sorts of characters like that are trying to compete for the position. Like maybe who's another great person that did tons of 70s and 60s,
Bob
70s
Denver.
and 80s? Yeah, Bob Denver is Merlin, and he wants to rule the court, right? Because that would make sense. But they think that he's played out. They think he's played out, so he's always scheming to get Arthur's place, right? I think that'd be great.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, and it plays a little bit on Bob Denver being such a nice guy. We can make him kind of an asshole in this.
Yeah,
Stoned all the time.
All the time. Country road, take me to the reefer. It's not really funny, but it's probably accurate.
Actually, you know that there's
Bob Denver did love his ganja.
Is that true? I actually really didn't.
That is completely true. Bob Denver was
That
always
doesn't
stoned.
shock me. Bob, maybe if he took a few more flying lessons. Sorry.
You're thinking of John Denver, Joe.
Yeah, I'm thinking of John Denver. I've been thinking of John Denver the whole time.
You have
I
been.
have been thinking of John Denver the whole time. Yeah, Bob
when you
Denver
started-
is the evil Merlin. Absolutely. And you're right. Bob Denver did love his ganja. He died in West Virginia, right?
Yeah, when you started singing John Denver, I'm like, is he? I think he's doing this as a joke. But no, you started going on and you were being dead serious.
I was dead serious. I was thinking of John Denver the whole time. And I was like, did John Denver really like his weed? I mean, I'm assuming.
Oh, I'm sure
He
John
did a
Denver
movie
got
with
it.
Jessica Tandy.
Yeah, John Denver toked every now and then, I'm sure. But Bob Denver toked.
Bob Denver did love his. That is accurate.
Oh, can we get Zero Mostel as a pimp?
Perfect.
We got to find a role for James Gardner too. But
James Gardner's a little too big for this series.
Well, I know
James Gardner was a leading man.
Well, I know,
he had all those shows and those movies. Sorry, I haven't poo-pooed on any of your ideas yet.
No, that's
except
not.
all the shitty ones that you've already said. But this
again, when these take off, and you're like, I wish I would have been.
When these take off, and we're unable to cast any of those people, can you see us at the cast?
They're all dead.
Can you just show me who the hell here is Bob? I say John Denver again, and it's a room full of John Denver. Damn it, Joe! We said Bob Denver.
We demand George Kennedy be in this project. If Billy Barty ain't on set tomorrow, we walk.
Barty. Oh my god. Oh, only I want him in that Masters of the Universe makeup. Right? He's the key guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
All right. What's your next one, Chad?
All right. I'm trying to figure out which one to do because some of these just came off the top of my head. All right, let's do this one. So there's a book. And this book has caused all kinds of problems for anybody. It's the Necronomicon. Thanks for ruining the setup.
Oh, I thought he was going to say the Bible.
I don't think I ruined it.
I think
most of our audience were going. He's going.
I think the Bible probably causes more issues than the Necronomicon. Look up the Crusades.
That's about money, but keep going.
So the Necronomicon has caused problems for anybody who's opened it up and read it. We need a story about the guy who actually proofread the Necronomicon.
Okay, yeah, you got me. Now here you said the wham of God. Did you mean lamb?
And every time he corrects something horrible happens to him.
You could have a whole scene that's right out of Life of Brian where he's correcting the Latin. Do you know what I mean? Blessed
are the cheesemaker. It's a metaphor for all dairy.
You said clacto. It's clacto, not clacdo. You fucking idiot.
No, I think you're right.
By a lot of demons.
I think you're right. That would be great. Now, when you said that you would pour the spike in the eye, you put pike. Is it pike or spike? Now, if it is pike, do you mean the fish, or do you mean we're gonna have to get to? We need clarity. I can't help but now. Are we going to use MLA or APA citation at the end of this? Because if you're quoting a demon,
and then he can go off on the whole. No, O positive is a lot easier to read than A positive. What are you doing?
What font do you want this blood poured in?
Wait, we're binding it in what now?
What do you mean you want a special edition? Limited print.
It turned my wife into a flying, screeching demon. I noticed no
Well,
difference.
more so. Oh no, actually, that's great. I would actually, I would actually totally watch that movie.
So we need a prequel, and it just needs to be about the proofreader of the Necronomicon. I think that is an award-winning script.
Yeah, I agree with you. Most people would just say we'll do a prequel about the making and writing of the Necronomicon. Not you, sir. You took it a whole step far, going,
Nope.
There's got to be somebody who proofreads this.
Because for every book's written, there has to be a proofreader.
Proofreader. That's true.
James, you got something else?
I was about to say, I don't have anything else to add to that.
In the back of my mind, actually, I just kind of, what do you mean you're going to just switch it to publish it through Create Space? I don't know if Amazon's going to do that.
Well, it's print to order.
Yeah.
Self-published.
We got another order. Somebody get me more blood. Anyway, this is just for you, Joe. We mentioned the Jeffersons.
All right, I'm about. Good night.
He's gonna go watch He's gonna go.
I gotta go watch Mortal Kombat.
We've mentioned the Jeffersons, and of course
mom.
they moved on up, right, to that
To the east
deluxe
side.
apartment.
In the sky.
Yeah. Whoa. Moving on up. Now, Joe, they were neighbors of the Bunkers, and they owned a dry cleaning service, and they moved up. Their dry cleaning service made a lot of money. They decided to move out of the Bunkers neighborhood, move to the Upper East Side, much more rich. I posit this question: what if you had somebody living in the middle class suburbs, and they had to move into the lower class suburbs? But what family could we put this on? What sitcom family have we not heard from that we could have move to the inner city because of some shift in their socioeconomics? And Joe, just for you, I automatically thought of the Achmonics.
Oh, yeah, I was actually watching Alf the other day.
So they've been living next to the Tanners. Something happens. All of a sudden, they have to go from this kind of middle class suburb where there's an alien next
And
door.
the Achmonics are the older couple who live next to the Tanners. The Tanners are the ones that Alf lives with. For anybody out there who, why would you?
Is it their son or grandson? The kid? Am I remembering that correctly? Is there a kid?
Maybe later. Yeah, I think they did. You know what? Shit, James, it's all went. My kid,
I thought there was a
my
kid
kid's
involved.
watching it now, and honestly, there's an episode or two every once in a while that I don't remember. And then he shit on Ghostbusters 2 the other day, and I didn't get pissed, but I was like, "Hey, wait a tick."
Well, anyway, I mean, the fact that you're a failure as a father. Anyway, but the point being,
Listen, you didn't need a news article.
anyway, so the Achmonics have to move to the inner city, and I mean like the inner city Compton, and that's going to be the show. They thought it was weird when they were spying next door and they might catch an alien, and Alf always had to hide. Well, now they're next door to a meth den.
By the way, you're thinking of
Mrs. Achmonic is going to get shivved.
You're thinking of Jake Achmonic. He only lasted 50.
But was he their grandson or son?
I think he was the grandson.
He only
Okay.
lasted how long, Chad? You broke up. on it.
15 episodes.
Yeah, and they
Oh,
also the other person who knew about him was Willie's therapist and Kate's mom.
Okay, but I knew there was a kid involved. So yeah, grandparents have to move with their one child into the inner city next to a meth den because of socioeconomic, and it just happens to be the Achmonics. That's where we start the spinoff. Will they find another alien or a bunch of dead bodies? Who knows?
Bunch of dead bodies.
So tune in this fall to the Achmonics.
All right, I like the other two better.
I did that just for you.
I
wanted to get an Alf spinoff for you. This was all for you, Damien.
I just wish they'd have finished the damn show. All we ever got was that 2-hour crappy TV movie.
Yeah, where he gets caught and the Tanners.
Yeah, he's basically in Area 51. It's
Interesting fact about the Achmonics. The husband, Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who played him?
I mean, he's in the original Odd Couple. He's a character actor, but I can't. Think of his
John
name.
LaMotta. And if that name sounds familiar, he is actually the nephew of Jake
Jake.
LaMotta.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was the nephew of him, but he's a character actor, right? He was in. If you look him up on IMDb, I'm almost positive he's in the original. He's in the Odd Couple film too.
Let's see.
It was Trevor and Raquel Ochmonic.
I am not seeing the Odd Couple on this list, Joe.
Huh? Maybe I got that wrong. I am totally.
He was an American Ninja though, as Ronaldo.
That's.
He was, and he's also in Running Scared.
As the evidence officer.
Now we're talking about the Running Scared from the 80s with Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines, right?
Yeah, the almost unwatchable movie. Yes, Running Scared.
I don't remember
Yes.
it being that bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
Really?
I couldn't stand it. Yeah, it was hard to get through.
Have you
Oh, he's
watched it
also
recently?
in.
I tried watching it recently. I could not.
I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah.
I don't remember it being
He's
that bad.
also in the great 1998 film, The Godson. That would be Rodney Dangerfield with the man we dedicated a whole episode to because he's worth it.
And by the way,
Why
We got-
did I just rank on Dom DeLuise's name?
and before we go on and get off this topic, but I know one of our listeners is screaming at the top of his lungs. Yes, Mick, he was in Electric Boogaloo 2.
Oh, and more
Breaking
importantly,
2, Electric Boogaloo.
he played the character that is referred to tons of times in Frasier, but rarely seen. He's Duke. Frasier's
Oh,
dad
yeah.
always talks
Did he
about
play
Duke.
Duke at the for the bar? His dad went to his bar, right?
Joe farted.
Yeah, I farted again. This stupid chair. I thought Duke was an African American. Huh.
Well, he's credited as Duke in two Frasier episodes. So there you go.
I may have remembered that wrong. All right, Chad, what else you got?
All right, I'm going to go with a family film.
Yes.
Pixar had two great films with,
Ever.
not two of my personal favorites, but Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. But they want to take that animation style that they developed for underwater creatures, and I think they would love to make a movie about Jaws's mother.
Why Jaws' mother?
Because she's raising this sweet little boy. And then all of a sudden,
They made
he's
a prequel about Jaws. It's called Jabber Jaws. They just never got to finish it to see what turned him bad.
Yeah.
he got a concussion.
He was concussed.
Those teenage musicians he hung out with betrayed him. Very Shakespearean.
Quint hit him with a propeller on his boat.
Watch where you're going with your motorboat propellers.
No, actually, Chad, you bring up.
They don't just
great-
hurt manatees, which have it coming.
Manatees are such not big, nice big. Oh man, not manatees. Or as I
Took
like to
him-
refer to them to my wife. Are you sure God still wants them to exist?
By the way, Chad, you
They
bring up an
attracted to
interesting idea of Pixar doing films because actually there was one thing that I was trying to figure out, and it would have to be a Pixar film. I think it's long overdue. I think the kids are clamoring for it. I think we need to do this because if you know anything about kids, you all have kids. What do your kids come home and what's the first thing that they say they want to watch when they get home? That's right, Beretta. We need Pixar to do the story of the cockatoo.
Cockatoo, yeah. Isn't that called Rio?
No, that's nothing like what Beretta.
Or is that a blue macaw? I don't know. I actually don't like birds.
Neither do I.
I don't
really
either.
don't.
I mean-
Birds.
They're they're my least favorite thing that poops on my car. Chad, you're number 3.
Woo!
Hey, Chad. I mean, that's something, right? You're not even.
I know.
What's number 2? There's a damned turtle.
Tomorrow
So
I'm eating a
ask
whole
about
pot.
the physics.
I'm eating a whole pot roast and a bag of prunes, and I'm going to James's house.
Space turtles. They get me every day.
I don't think
no,
we've ever talked about this. I didn't realize that the 3 of us didn't like birds.
No, but if you know anything about Beretta, Meg Foster did a couple episodes. It's a great show. The actor went on to sainthood, actually. And nobody ever talks about him anymore because he's well known for his saintly behavior.
He's
That
more. He's better known for his role in Money Train.
Well, that being said, also it's got one of the best theme songs of all time by Sammy Davis Jr., one of the greatest entertainers, and I'm not even saying this sarcastically, of the 20th century. Keep your eye on the sparrow. That being said, we need to know that cockatoo story. How did he meet Beretta? Was he part of an illegal arms trading thing or illegal animal smuggling ring? And Beretta finds him and he helps Beretta free the other animals. Pixar, we could make this happen. I mean, I don't know who owns the right to Beretta, but we can make it happen. You got that Pixar money. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Keep your eye on the sparrow when the going gets narrow.
All right, what else we got?
I've got two more, James. If you got any more, we can wrap it up.
You do one of yours, and I'll come up with something off the cuff.
All right.
Off the cuff.
Let's talk about this poor man, this janitor, and the day after Nakatomi Tower.
I mean, they got more than just a janitor coming in there. I think you're going to have to get some HVAC people. You're damn sure going to need a roofer.
I think it's important that man gets a raise the next day for the shit he's going to have to clean up.
Hold on. Now you got one piece of the puzzle. He's got to pick up a shit ton of glass. I'll give you that. Somebody's going to cut their foot. But
and all that spilled cocaine.
I'll get that for them. Don't worry. I'll come in and do that.
He'll do that first and then finish the other job really fast.
Really fast. I'll have a roof back on that sumbitch. You should see me. You should see me shingle Nakatomi on cocaine.
The only thing I couldn't replace was the fire hose.
So, you think about that. So they have to have a roofer, get some HVAC people. I'm not being sarcastic, right? You got to have somebody clean up. What else?
They have to have an office. They have to go buy all new office supplies.
They're going to have a lot of water damage from the fire that was there and the sprinklers, and that it's a building. It goes down. James and I have worked in high-rise buildings before the sprinklers.
And that poor gardener out front.
Yeah.
The helicopter.
And his damn police car's got to be moved.
Yeah. They got a whole lot of mess. There needs to be a spinoff.
Oh, elevator repair, man.
Oh, there's a whole shaft got blew to hell.
Yeah.
So hey,
it's going to have to do all that Steve to get all the up early.
Oh my God. If you start doing lines from Letterkenny.
No, I need to stop doing lines from Letterkenny. But back to
actually not as much as you need to stop doing lines of cocaine.
Right. If I've got it once again, $100 bill, I've got them in rails here. Please help me out.
Cocaine.
All right. I got the beard. I could be fat. What's his name? What's that character's name? The one that basically sells them out.
Oh, Jesus.
80s dude.
I know. I forgot his name.
It wasn't Jesus. You think Jesus gets sold out?
That was the other bearded guy. That was the socialist.
But we're losing viewers left.
They should Google it.
All right, James. You got one more?
I got one more. It just popped into my head. I think this needs to be so. You all both are fans of a franchise. A show was a cartoon for a while. A couple movies came out of it, but we never get the full gestalt of this background characters. We need to do the prequel that tells the story of the Crypt Keeper when he was alive.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
BC.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
We'll call
That's not even a joke one. That's amazing.
No, we'll call it BC. It stands for Before Crypt Keeping. And it's going to
and you ruined it. You ruined it.
I do that a lot. Anyway,
someone's had to have pitched that. That's too damn good not to have been pitched before.
It's the story of, in my mind, he's a librarian obsessed with preserving old tales, and we set it during because he's decayed in modern day, so he's been dead for a while. We set it during Frederick Wortham. We actually base it in reality where EC Comics was attacked and he's trying to preserve the stories. And he gets pushed to, he's trying to store up these stories to hide them, to preserve them, which is why in death, he has to constantly tell these stories.
Was it the burning of Persia? I can't remember what's the library where we lost most of man's
Alexandria?
Was it the burning of Alexandria? I'm sorry, I was thinking about that, and he was there, and through the centuries, he's grown more and more pissed and collects stories of people, and they're getting their comeuppance.
Oh, that'll work too. I just like pick on you.
No, it's just funny. We're both going the same way. But by the way, he was talking about a couple of cartoons. It came made into some movies, and I was sitting there going, "He's going to do the Flintstones."
I thought honestly, I thought he was going to do Rambo.
I thought he was going to do the Flintstones. This is how.
Oh my God,
this is.
that's the other story we'll
Let me
tell.
tell you the character you were going to talk about. The dinosaur garbage disposal. The whole time I was like, that's what he's going to do. He's going to do the Flintstones. It's going to be the dinosaur that's the garbage disposal under the sink. It's
a living.
By the way, and I know this is sacrilege on some level because I love The Simpsons, but I never was a huge Flintstones fan.
Neither was I.
I preferred the Jetsons. I know.
I liked it as a kid. Big fans, probably a whole other. I was listening to an interview with Joe Dante the other day. I didn't realize he was the first. That's who they wanted to direct the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he kept turning it down because he wasn't a Flintstones fan. He said, you need to find somebody who actually has Flintstone soap in their bathroom. Somebody who actually really loves it.
Yeah. But anyway, no, so that would be my pitch. How did the Crypt Keeper end up? Because he's dead. We know he's dead. We know he was a human. How did he end up being the keeper of all these stories? And so I would love to do that. That's a limited series that I would love to do. HBO Max, call me up. Though I know right now there's some legal issues about Crypt Keeper and Tales from the Crypt.
They're not on HBO Max, which is a big disappointment.
Tales from the Crypt's not on HBO Max.
Nope.
It's an entire rights thing because they created technically the Crypt Keeper for that. Well, that version of the Crypt Keeper, because the old comic version of the Crypt Keeper is just an old guy, right?
Right.
Yeah, he's just an old guy.
Because he's an actual Crypt Keeper. I mean, it was somebody that watched the cemetery at night.
Well, I just like the idea of him being in all the dark occult and being a librarian. I think that's good. I just would.
That is an amazing film. I don't even. We're wrapping on that one. I'm not going to even talk about my last one.
So see, I have ideas, folks. Call me up.
You had one good idea.
Hey, Making Sad would be an excellent expose.
That's better than any I had. I wanted to do about the dinosaur, the garbage disposal. And John Denver.
On Gilligan's Island for some god awful reason.
I'm now picturing that dinosaur at the unemployment office. Well, here's the jobs we got for you.
They started.
Say it one more time, Chad. It's a living.
It's a living.
They started composting. That's what I got, folks. So these are all spinoffs we would lovingly do. Call us up, Hollywood. You can follow us on Twitter and message us there, and we will get back to you because we'll be shocked somebody messaged us.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, we're on all three. You can feel free to message us, and I'll eventually, or one of us will get back to you and say, holy cow, why are you talking to us? That's weird. All right.
These are our ideas, famous people. Let's make them happen.
This has been Bonehead Weekly.
Uh-huh.